All right. So we were talking about PMO. So project management office in large organizations, we will have this structure, which is called PMO. So PMO provides supportive role to other project managers in the organization. It may provide controlling role. It may provide a directive role, and there is a difference between these three. So let's look at the supportive role. So it means that if PM needs any help with the templates, so the PM office will provide them the templates. If they need any coaching, mentoring about any methodology, let's say about any standard, so the PMO department will provide them the necessary training about that practice, methodology, standard. Basically, they will coach them, guide them, the PMs, and provide them with all the tools, templates, processes they need. Okay, that's basic supportive role. If some PM need the training for the project management tool, they will come forward and provide the training about the tool. And yeah, so that is basically the supportive role of a PMO department. But PMO department can be more strategic. The more controlling and directive the PMO is, these departments could be more strategic and they can add value strategically in the organization. So controlling means that the PMO will implement the standards, the policies, whatever they taught in the previous role, they will implement those methodologies, standards, and best practices. So they will see the PMs are following or not. So they will let PMs follow proper change management process, proper tools. I mean, proper templates are being used. They will ensure that PMs are uh, having project charters, project management plans, issue logs, defect log. They are maintaining these artifacts. They are having proper plans for the project communication risk. Are they following standard methodologies? Any PMI methodology? Any other framework? Whatever they are, they have set standards, so they need to enforce the standard on the teams. Okay, so this is the controlling role. Then comes the directive role where PMO could be working side by side with the PMs, rolling up their sleeves and directly getting involved in the project activities, uh, execution. So they are leading the resources, managing the resources, and letting the providing necessary support to the project managers where there are shared resources are required, resources from across the projects are required. So they have a influence not only on one project but on the other projects as well. So they can buy in the support for the PMs. So if they are directly supporting, pushing forward the deliverables, the execution of the project, just like a PM, so they are actually more directive, and that's where their influence will be heard more. Okay, that's pretty predictive environment where we have a supportive, controlling, or directive role. However, in the agile environments, we have PMO. Their name is slightly different, which is Agile Center of Excellence. We may call it a value delivery office. Again, we heard about the role of the PMO department as a supportive. So here they also provide coaching to the team about various agile principles, values, um, uh, practices, frameworks, and they definitely are there for any type of consultation regarding the frameworks, uh, whichever the organization is using, what methodology organization is using, what is the tailoring guidelines. So they will provide basically the support. Okay. Any question on the PMO before we move forward?
No, no, we can follow.
Okay. Then we have OPM, Organizational Project Management. This is a strategy execution framework in which we have projects, programs, and portfolios and operations within the organization. So that's the vehicle through which organization achieves their strategy. So strategy is what? It is the collection of projects, programs, portfolios. That's how we achieve the strategy. That's how we say that this is our strategy, I mean this is our project program and operations through which we will achieve organization strategy. So these projects, programs, portfolio, operations, everything become the vehicle to achieve the organization strategy. So OPM is the system for value delivery, system for project execution, program execution, portfolio execution. We do it within the influence of internal factors and the external factors where the organizations are working. Okay, now we have heard about project and project management. And as a project uh, manager, my role, my focus would be that I should complete the project objectives within the constraints of the project. So project objective could be that timely finishing the project, timely within the cost, achieving the objectives, scope of the project within the cost that is stipulated for the project, and the meeting the quality requirements. So my intention would be that I should be behind the deliverables, that I need to finish these deliverables within given time period and given constraints. Now, when I move to a program, so program is collection of projects which might be related to each other by somehow. Maybe the resources are same or the customer for which we are working is the same. So what we do, we club these projects done for single customer into a program. So why we do it? Because when we club these together and appoint a program manager, so program manager is above project managers. So he has more power, he has the resources, so he can assign the resources between these projects, depending on which project will push forward organizational objectives more. So he can actually reprioritize these projects. So if I leave the project to a project of manager, so he will push forward his own objectives of the project. So no one will think that what is the priority, which project A should go first or project B should go first. Maybe for achieving the strategic objective, project B should be prioritized. So program manager will provide us the additional control that is not available if we leave the project to each single project manager. So we'll point a program manager to have more control and the benefits that are not available if we leave each project with the project managers. And this is done for projects which are related to each other. Okay, so the program management is the um, is where we are behind the benefits, and when we look at the benefits, then we look at the projects, and then we see which project will push me forward more towards my benefits. So I will reprioritize the resource utilization across each project. So that's my role, that I will align the between cross between the projects. So I will do the resource reprioritization, dissolving the interdependencies between various projects. Got it, right?
Got it.
So you are behind deliverable in a project, right? In a project manager. And you are behind benefit when you are in a program. Okay. So you're a program manager, you will run behind a benefit. You're a project manager, you will run behind a delivery. Okay. And the portfolio is the collection of, again, projects, programs, as well as the operations within the organization. And here we are basically aligning every project program within the organization to the strategic direction. So the portfolio manager is looking towards benchmarking other organizations, what they are doing. So he will steering the organization towards the looking at the industry, wherever industry is going, wherever the whole ecosystem is going. So he decides what should be done, which projects should be funded, which programs should be funded. So what to do at the organization level is done by the portfolio manager, and then the projects get funded and the programs get funded and projects get stopped and projects programs get stopped because we are steering the organization in the different direction. Then all the projects and the programs should move to the different direction. So we will stop the funding of the old projects and we will try to align the underlying projects and programs to a new direction of the organization. So that's basically holding the steering of the organization. Got the point, right?
Right.
Any question in project management, program management, portfolio management?
No, no, clear in this.
All right. So then we have organizational structures in which we work. They fall under uh, functional organizations, productized organizations, or matrix organizations, composite organizations. So functional organization is purely uh, segregated organization, standard organization in which we have standalone departments like marketing, finance, account, we have sales, we have engineering. So everybody reports to a CEO. Okay, I mean all the head of the departments or the VPs of finance, engineering, marketing, sales, they report to the CEO. So these are the pure structures, which are the functional organizations. And then we may have purely projectized organizations where the structure is more like PMs are having their project teams, and then each PM is reporting to CEO. So we will have projects, and all the project CEOs will reporting projects will reporting to a CEO. Yeah, project managers will be reporting to the CEO, and each project manager will have their own dedicated team, which will be cross-functional team. So that's projectize, and then there is somewhere in the middle that we have a matrix. So
Project manager will report to program manager, then program manager report to CEO because he is the CEO of the portfolio
it,
management.
I'll tell you, it's not necessary. For example, let's see on the whiteboard. Okay, so you have function. Okay, you have function organization in which you will have a CEO, let's say, okay, and then you will have a CMO,
VP,
Chief Marketing Officer, you will have CFO, Chief Financial
mm,
Officer, you will have Chief Technology Officer, you will have Chief Sales Officer, maybe
COO, COO,
COO,
Chief Operating
COO,
Officer.
yeah,
Mm,
COO, yeah. And then you may have the VPs underneath, yeah, VP Marketing,
mm,
yeah,
mm.
then VP Finance, yeah, VP Technology, or VP Sales, or then VP Operations, okay. Then you may have directors, right? Director Marketing, Director Finance, then Director, uh, whatever, Director Technology, then Director Sales, then Director Operations, right? And then you have staffs or managers, right? Whatever, you have
Mm.
staffs. And these staffs will belong to
Uh,
the,
this instead of director, there will be GM will be there, right?
yeah, could
Directors
be.
will come to the board of directors.
Could be
They will join in the
whatever.
board.
No, those are above CEO. The board,
Above CEO
the board is
directors.
above CEO. Yeah. So what I'm
Hmm.
saying, trying to say there are standalone departments. So finance people are responsible for finance. Nothing more, nothing less. They don't know technology. They are just about finance. And the staff working under finance will be skilled in the finance only. Staff working under technology will be skilled in the technology
Hmm.
only, and so on. Sales staff will be their job will be to do the sales. That's it. And similarly, operations are doing the operations. So everybody has their own role, and they do keep doing their role. Operations do their operations role. Okay. So this is how each team will have their own staff, and then staff, and then staff. You're getting the point, right? And those staffs
Right.
will have the functional skill set. Okay. Okay. So what will happen? CEO is here somewhere. Okay. This, 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 and then you can say you will have staff, 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 staff. Okay. That's
Hmm.
pretty functional structure. So you are having. Now this is done. So let's move it. Now look at the project. So here we will have again CEO, and then what we will have? We will have a PM and another PM and another PM, another PM. That's it. Each PM will have his own staff. Okay, each PM will have their own staff. I will have my own designer. You will have your own designer. You will have your own estimator, planner, procurement guy. Okay, so you will have your own team. You will have. So what will happen? There will be duplication. I have a designer, you have a designer. I have a scheduler, you also have a scheduler. I have a QA, you also have a QA. Okay.
Hmm.
So what's happening here? Duplication, 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 duplication. And if you ask me for my QA, I will not give you because why? Because my staff cost is going to my project budget and I am answerable of it. So I will not give my stuff to you. Why? Even if my stuff is idle, I will not give it to you. Correct?
Correct.
So now the other way to look at it is that PM is empowered here. PM is very much empowered because he is directly reporting to CEO and all of his staffs are reporting to PM only. Unlike
Hmm.
unlike the functional organization where VP Finance was here, let's say, and all the staffs were reporting to VP Finance, for example, from Finance Department. So who was holding the resources? The functional manager. This is the functional manager, right? He was the functional
Hmm.
manager, right? FM in the case of functional organization. But now PM is holding the resources, and who is having the project budget? FM or PM? PM is
PM
having the
is that.
project budget, yeah. So he is the
Yeah.
empowered guy. Yeah. Now, this is true that once the project is finished, this PM will go home and his team will go home unless
Hmm.
they find another project or PM find another project. So
Hmm.
there is no home after the project is over. In the previous structure, if this is FM and this is an FM, okay, let's say this is an FM and this staff is working on a project as well for some time. Let's say This guy is working on a project for some time. Sorry, sorry, sorry. Okay, this is previous one. Oh, gone. Okay, fine. I don't know. Where is that? Yeah. So I was saying that, for example, remind me what I was saying.
If a functional manager,
Yeah.
the
So my
staff
my
is
kind
tied
yeah. So my staff. Let's say this. My staff is working on a project. This staff is working on a project.
in.
After the project is finished, he will come back and continue to do his functional duties. So he has a home.
Duties.
He has a home. So home means that he has functional duties. After the project is over, he will come back and he will continue with his home, his functional duties. So after the project, he has a home. He is a finance guy. He will keep doing the finance work. Maybe for the part of the project, he's a part of the project which is done cross-functionally. Various team members are involved. Maybe this guy, maybe one guy from here, engineering, marketing, finance, everybody work together. But again, at the end of the project, they are coming back to their own department. Maybe in a day, 8 hours a day, they are working 1 hour for a project, and 5, 6 hours they are working on their operational duties. So they are not full-time working. Neither there is a project manager here because no one is project manager. Everything is the functional manager. But again, I am telling you about the functional. Now, projectize is not like this. So, projectize is not like this. Projectize is where PM is empowered and PM has his own resources. So, yeah,
He never gives to other. He never spare.
yeah, yeah. In our case, PM is empowered and PM has. So PM will go home. The staff will go home once the project is over. That's the message. Okay. So let's go back to the slide. But there will be some way in the middle. In the middle will be that matrix. Matrix structure is not fully functional, not fully projectized. It's somewhere in the middle. Okay, so both functional manager and the PM, they control the resources. Uh, Project team members will report to two bosses. They will report to the PM and they will report to the functional manager. So there will be a conflicted loyalty. You will ask me who I'm working with. I will tell I'm working with the PM, and then after some time, PM will ask me, where were you? So you will say I was working with the functional manager. So you will always have an excuse, right?
Right.
So this will be a tough relationship. Okay. Secondly, in functional organization, we do projects, we do have projects, but project managers or uh, we call the project team is basically working on the projects on part-time basis. Similar is the case with the matrix organization. There also we work on the projects on the part-time basis. But in the projectized, we work on the project on full-time basis. There's no other work. You are just there for the project. Okay. So
Yeah.
any question in these structures?
No, no, no.
Clear, right?
Yeah.
Good. Okay. Think of your current or recent project. Can you identify which type of organizational structure you were working in? and how it affects your project in the following ways. Tell
I'm
me.
working in waterfall method. Waterfall.
I understand, but is it a functional organization where you don't
I
see
know.
anything?
Right now I'm working in project.
So, do you have a PM who has the budget of the project
Yes.
and all the resources are reporting to PM,
No, there will be some cluster lead will be there.
which means that resources are reporting to two bosses.
Yes.
So, it's a
And
matrix.
bosses are reporting to uh, project manager.
No, that is fine. No, that is fine. But everybody is working on the project activities, right? There is nothing
Right.
functional, right? There is nothing functional. So you are
No,
not from
no.
procurement where you just procure. You are working on a project activities, nothing else, only project.
Yes.
Okay,
Only project.
that's purely project. Okay, true. And
Functional, I
resources.
previous organization, I worked in the functional because a group of our team will be a testing team. So how will it be there? There will be a multiple project will be there. So our department has to do the testing and it has to go to other step, other stage. It will go
Okay,
to other stage.
okay.
So that is the functional type, and this is a project based
So
right
here,
now.
here, here in this role, PM has the full authority.
Yeah,
So who can hire and fire?
correct.
PM, right?
Yeah, yeah.
End of the story. Let's go. All right. Now we need to understand various principles and related to project management. And these principles should always be applied. Just like I said, the various values that we should apply in our projects, we should always apply the principles. If you look at these one by one as a PM, and everyone in the team should be diligent, respectful, and caring. So care is a value, respect is a value. Diligent mean you are committed, right? So these are your values. So you should demonstrate these values, and these are your principles as well. So principally, we should be diligent, respectful, and caring. Steward. Steward mean again servant, right? You are helping, caring, respecting, not in terms of the project team only, but environment also. So you need to care about the environment as well. So out your project activities should not disturb the environment, should not pollute the environment. So you are caring 360 degree, right? Everything, not just you're respectful to others, you are diligent in your work, and you are a caring steward. Recognize, evaluate, and respond to system interactions, which means that we are not working in silo. We are a part of a system and we understand the working of each component of a system and how these system components interact with each other and how to respond to the other components' demands. So that's we should understand the uh, holistically and we should have a system thinking. Then navigate complexity. As I said, projects have complex tasks, complex challenges. So we need to navigate through complexity and find the solutions, find the ways. Yeah. Create a collaborative project team environment. That's the role of the Scrum Master, project manager, leader, that they need to promote collaboration. They need to create the trustworthy environment where the team can collaborate with each other. They need to promote openness so that everybody can collaborate. They need to demonstrate leadership behaviors. So, what is your leadership style? Is it a servant leader? Are you a democratic leader? Are you an autocratic leader? Understand your leadership style and then demonstrate that leadership style. Maybe you are a delegative leader. You prefer to delegate the tasks. Maybe you are a transformational leader, charismatic leader. So you need to understand what kind of leader you are. And then you need to demonstrate that behavior. So if you are a collaborative leader, if you are a coach, so you need to demonstrate, you need to coach people. Optimize risk responses. So while working on the projects, you will prepare your risk responses, and all these risk responses need to be continuously evaluated. You need to optimize these responses so that the risk is properly managed. Then effectively engage with the stakeholders. So it's not about just keeping them informed, but going to the stakeholder with the proper information, timely information, asking for the support, and keeping them well informed, taking their buy-in, involve them in the decision making. So you need to effectively engage with the stakeholders. Tailor based on the context, which means that not every method, not every process will be applicable in every situation. So you need to tailor it to the need of the project. So you may start with 49 processes as mentioned in the PM book for managing your project, but you may end up using only 7, 8, 10 of these processes. You don't need. You need to tailor these processes, whichever you need to manage the current project. For a certain project, you may not require extensive quantitative risk analysis. You may only use qualitative risk analysis and that's it. So which means tailoring based on the context. Embrace adaptability and resiliency. So as we say, we need to embrace change, we need to be adaptable, and we need to be resilient, which means that whatever it takes, we need to deliver. Focus on the value, focus is another value. We need to keep our focus on the value. So you need to keep delivering the value. What is value for the customer? Keep your focus on the value and keep delivering the value. Build quality into the processes and deliverables. So quality is not to be inspected in the deliverable, it should be built in the deliverables. So decide the standards, processes, and then implement those while the product is being developed, not at the end once it is developed. So prevention is better than cure. Enable change to achieve the envisioned future state. How you will enable the change? You need to understand the change, you need to prepare the environment for the change, you need to promote the change, be the change ambassador, and then you need to enable the change from one state to another state to transition to another state. So these are your principles for the project management. Any question in these principles?
No.
Then you have 8 performance domains, and these principles will be guiding your behavior in all these performance domains, such as when you deal with stakeholders, when you deal with the uncertainty, when you measure the progress of the project, when you do the delivery of the project outcome, when you lead on the project in the execution phase, when you are doing the planning for it, when you are deciding which approach you should choose, and when you're forming a team, when you're leading a team. So all these principles that we just talked about, these will become your guiding principles. You need to apply all these principles. If you're not applying one principle, which means that you are lacking, you are not doing proper project management. All right, I think we should stop here. What do you think?
Okay, we'll stop here.
Yeah. Okay, good. But we can have